That
So.
was Geneseo Thursday. And then just right now, with that officer.
Where are you? Over here, I guess a little more. All right, John Anderson here, Livingston County News with Sheriff Dougherty. Sheriff, you just gave an update to the media,
Yep.
and again, the people from Geneseo are watching this, and the surrounding area in great numbers. What can you tell them right now?
The update, unfortunately, is similar to last night. We do not have a good location for our suspect. The best area we have is still where we continue to be, which is the same place as where the traffic stop occurred, where we have him on video running into the cornfield. We've had a couple tips come in. They've turned out to be nothing. So we don't have any good hot path to follow. We're still talking to her. She's being cooperative. The best thing I can tell residents is I understand their concern. I'm a father as well, and I live right close by, so believe me, I understand their concern. They can be rest assured they have a lot of law enforcement here. It doesn't mean keep your doors open and not keep your eyes open, because I want them to keep their eyes open. If they see something, please call 911. If they have information, they can call locally 243-7100, or if it's not local, 844 LCSO TIP. We want to get as much information. Even if they think it's nothing and it's not going to lead anywhere, it may be what we're looking for. So the female describes him as clean shaven now. The original picture we put out, he had a beard. So we did update a picture that we located of him clean shaven. I would take a good look at that, and if you see anybody that fits that description, call us right away. If you were passing through yesterday, whether on 390 or any of these highways around here, and you pick somebody up that looks even remotely similar, please call us. He was last described as wearing blue jeans, a gray long sleeve shirt, and a baseball cap on. The baseball cap could obviously be removed, but that's the best description we have.
And can you go, now that you know more about him and you've worked with law enforcement, what is his history and why is he so dangerous?
So according to the female that was in the vehicle, she's advising that he felt like he had a federal warrant for his arrest, which is why they left North Carolina, and they were planning to go to a remote location to avoid it. In reality, when we ran him, he doesn't have the warrant pop up. It doesn't mean he doesn't have a warrant, but it's not in the system, at least on our end. So in his mind, according to her, is that he felt like he was going to be taken into custody. He had just done several years in the federal penitentiary for federal crimes and felt like he was going to go back for a life sentence because he is currently on federal probation.
This sounds so much like Bucky Phillips and David Sweat. Does that remind you a little of those, where if someone went after law enforcement and now they're on the run?
Yeah, I don't know if I would compare it to that. There's a lot of different reports that he shot at the officer. I've reviewed the video. I've listened to her story directly, and she claims that the weapon wasn't loaded, and she claims that it was more a Bonnie and Clyde type thing, I believe was the quote. But we're not taking for granted that the gun is not loaded. I mean, we're taking it that he has a weapon, and we consider him armed and dangerous. If we locate that weapon, that will give us some relief, and we've got a lot of nitrate dogs searching the area where we believe he went into to see if we can recover any weapon.
You're standing here just a few minutes ago with members of the state police. Just had this incident with Nick Clark.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult is this for these guys and for you guys?
Yeah, I couldn't speak for the state police, but I can tell you, as sheriff, I don't want any of my members to get hurt, meaning my deputies, and I don't want any other agencies' members to get hurt. So what I hope the end result is here, that our members stay safe, that our community stays safe, and that we get this guy into custody quickly so everyone can go back upon their normal life.
All right, Sheriff, thank you so much for a few minutes with
All right,
us.
take care.
All right, and that was the sheriff right there, and we'll just kind of stay live here for a few minutes. Okay, John Anderson back. As you see, the sheriff just left, and we appreciate him talking to. We've been paying close attention to the comments from our viewers on this, and some of you had said that the sound quality wasn't there for our last interview, so we took the time to set up our television cameras here and get some good sound for everybody, and Sheriff was gracious enough, as was the media, to let us do a little second briefing right there with the sheriff. And I think everyone here understands why we're here in Geneseo. I stayed in Geneseo last night. Sheriff said, his family there in Geneseo. We know how important this is to our viewers and to our readers at the Livingston County News to find out, what is happening. And I think that's why everybody was gracious enough to allow us to talk to the sheriff again, to you guys. Just to kind of things, if you did watch our last broadcast around midnight last night, the severity of this is real. Again, he's worried about going to federal prison. His photo is on our Facebook page. It's on the internet. The other media have his photo. Sheriff Dougherty's Twitter page is outstanding. He's been updating that with accurate information, and he is also dispelling a lot of rumors on his Twitter page. So, because you see the comments, and it's obvious that they're reading what you guys are saying. They're checking out every tip. This is very serious to them. So, that's good. But he had a gun. He kind of brought it up. It looked like he pointed it, according to the dash cam. A Geneseo police officer had to return fire. That's why we have all the reports we do of the gunfire here in Geneseo. He's still at large. His girlfriend has been detained. She is facing charges. They don't have those charges just yet. She described this as a Bonnie and Clyde situation when she talked to the authorities. The U.S. Marshals is here. The amount of police presence and the amount of interagency cooperation is just incredible here at the scene and through the night. One thing the sheriff said last night is that if you're in Geneseo or the surrounding area, you'll never see this much law enforcement, and he's absolutely correct. I guess some of you can comment on this, how you felt last night. I'm kind of wondering, because I think I was just tired and I slept in Geneseo, but sometimes we don't quite lock our cars. Sometimes we forget to lock our house doors. Maybe the windows are open in the first floor. I know last night, as tired as I was, everything was being locked, checking all the rooms and the closets. It was a very uncomfortable thing in Geneseo, going upstairs, checking everywhere. Again, as I kind of said last night, you watch that documentary on the the bombing in Boston, and they had that manhunt, and they found him in the boat behind the house. He was hiding in a boat, and the infrared cameras eventually were able to see if he was moving or not. Here in Geneseo, people have those. They have their boats. You have people who are out of town right now, so you have some empty homes, and there's a lot of different situations, hunting camps in the area, and from what it sounds like, he is on the run. 63 and 20 here are kind of shut down because the only video they have, as the sheriff said, was behind me, the cornfield. They saw him going into a cornfield. And that's the only reason why I think this is shut down. But he is on the run, and I brought up the David Sweat situation. There's so many hunting camps, and that's kind of what they were doing. They were going from hunting camp to hunting camp, getting some food, getting some drink, and as that manhunt went on. So I expecting a little, possibly some of the same. And again, I think what's really good is you viewers out there who are from Livingston County, this area better than anybody. The different hideouts, from when you were kids, the different places to hide under a bridge, or I saw some people talking about a stream or different areas that could be, have you checked this area? Have you checked that area? I think these are all great tips and things. As far as Nun Day, I saw some great tips from our readers last night. So, I think that's all, very important and very relevant at this point. You guys grew up here. You know this area better than anybody. You can live in a town your whole life and you don't know about half of the hiding spots or places that you can go and can get away. But Sheriff brought up an interesting point too, how close they are to the 390, and maybe this guy did hitch a ride. And that's kind of the beauty of the internet, okay, and Facebook. obviously our viewers are not just limited to here. They're all around the state, they're all around the country, they're all around the world. So we're hoping that anybody who may have picked up a hitchhiker who is watching this, or maybe they watch this on the Rochester media that's here in heavy presence. If anybody picked up a hitchhiker who matches his description, in his 40s, blue jeans, clean shaven, 5'9", 200 pounds. Again, you can see his photo on our Facebook page and the LCN.com, and he's shaving now. So we're looking for this guy, and I did notice a few of our readers. I'm kind of looking through some of your comments here. They've been posting screenshots of his Facebook page, and he has many different looks. I saw that goatee and the beard, clean shaven, ball cap on with his girlfriend. So last night, as Matt Leader and Ben Beagle were assisting with me along with Chris Metcalf, putting some updates there, our readers were coming up with some incredible information in the comments and links that helped us get more information out to you. Because again, this was very chaotic last night. Here at the LCN, we had learned that he had been in prison for 17 years, and we did get that confirmed. The other odd thing that no one's really touched on, the sheriff did talk to us last night on the record about this. We heard a single gunshot, and the police also heard a single gunshot, but the only thing that's confirmed is it was not a member of any of the agencies, and it sounded like a gunshot. So, when you have some people who live here, work for the paper, and some law enforcement who hunt, and we know what a gunshot sounds like, and it was pretty clear to us. But again, there's nothing here. I did talk to somebody at a different police agency who's not involved in this about something that a few of you viewers brought up. What if he shot himself? They did say that will help with the canine unit. If he's stable and they have a scent on him, they might be able to find him. Also, obviously the infrared cameras might be able to find him, but nothing has come of that, obviously. And that gunshot last night was about half an hour before. If you look at our Facebook timeline, the gunshot took place about half an hour before we left here and went over to Court Street for that quick live video. I did kind of a live video on my cell phone. It wasn't the greatest. It was very dark, but we saw the SWAT unit go right by here, and all these SWAT members were on the unit going towards Court Street. They were hanging on it like an old-time fire truck, and 3 or 4 state trooper cars went flying by. So we quickly picked up, went over to Court Street, went live, and it was nothing. We're going to take a look at the helicopter now taking off.
pulled out a gun and aimed at the officer. That's when matters quickly escalated. Police are identifying the suspect as David Clyde Morgan. Does have a previous criminal history, a violent one, and that has served time in federal prison, but it is unclear why the suspect is in this area. Let's take a listen to what police have to say.
Clyde adventure. No, it was just brought up very quick here. That was one of the things that was happening. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
The town of Geneseo or village?
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca, thank you so much for letting me know that you couldn't hear us. I was trying to check some of the, I was trying to change some of the volume so you guys could hear the helicopter on our camera here. So here we go. So again, I saw someone thought that he was from Pembroke, but no, that was one of them went to Pembroke Academy in New Hampshire, so not the Pembroke in Geneseo County. So thank you for that. Someone also was asking about the Bonnie and Clyde adventure. They did not elaborate on that, though. They, just said that that's what was happening. Okay, so Fran, can you hear me now? I guess is what I'm wondering here. Did try to change the change it so you guys could hear us a little bit better. So you can't hear us right now. All right, let me see if we can. Looking here, I've got a pretty good. Okay, now you can hear us. All right, that's good. So as you see, the road is closed down. As you're looking right behind us here in Geneseo at 63 and 20, it continues to be closed down, and the reason is this is where the last place they saw him was going into these cornfields, but unfortunately he may be long gone from this area. So everybody in the area, I saw people commenting from Dansville. You guys saw a lot of action. We saw a lot of people commenting from all over Livingston County that they saw a lot of action with helicopters and police, and there's a reason. They know that this guy's on the run, that he told his girlfriend has told police that they believe that he has some reason he's going to go back to federal prison. So where he spent 17 years from what we learned. So he is very dangerous right now. Tracy's asking about a cell phone that they can track if he has one. Boy, that's a great question. Every single one of us has one. Some of us have two cell phones. I don't know why we didn't ask that question. So very good question there, Tracy. I do know this though. They had North Carolina plates, and they had driver's licenses from a different state, and they dropped those at the scene. And again, this is all because WHAM was the first ones here reporting this yesterday, and they saw all of this. If you're able to follow them, follow some of the things that the reporters were showing on Twitter, that's one thing that we know. So when you're asking about the cell phones, well, if he did drop they dropped their driver's licenses on the ground, maybe he doesn't have a cell phone. But that is a very good question that we, we'll probably have to ask during the next briefing. If they're able to track anything through a cell phone. So again, yes, the road is. Daryl's asking about the road. Yes, it is closed here. There is a lot of police traffic kind of coming in and out of this scene. See a lot of unmarked. I just see a uniformed trooper just passing us now, and that uniformed trooper is in an unmarked car. So a lot of investigators, at the scene. Were the licenses from Florida? No. I believe the licenses were from New York. However, and again, talked to law enforcement, and they immediately said, listen, when you're on the run, and they believe they're on the run right now, maybe they're heading to Canada, that these could be fake licenses. So the state that the license, all I can, it definitely was out of state, wasn't North Carolina plates. This is just Geneseo is just a happened place that they were pulled over. Geneseo Police pulled them over for a routine traffic stop. We just heard the chief talking about that. He didn't want to elaborate too much with that. I'm sure he's been conferring with the district attorney on this. Here's Ashley saying there's a call on River Road in Mount Morris. They're looking for someone with a gray hoodie carrying something running into the woods. Very credible. He is on the run. He's obviously on the run. That's why, I don't believe he is anywhere near Geneseo right now at this point. Debbie, you're talking about passports for Canada. Absolutely. You do need the passports, and maybe they did have those. Again, who knows what they had that was altered or fake. The girlfriend is talking about this as a desperate situation here, that this is it. He doesn't want to get caught. He doesn't want to go back to prison. So, do they have family or friends in the area? No, not that we know of at all. No connection. I actually, as people showed up at the scene yesterday, I was trying to kind of ask them if there was any connection, because there's some people who definitely were not media or law enforcement showing up, and I think they were just concerned neighbors in Geneseo. Kate, we are at 63 and 20. Dale, you're asking if this just happened. No, it happened yesterday around 5:30, 5:47 was the time of the traffic stop, and obviously everything's kind of been a little haywire here in Geneseo ever since then, because he did, according to the sheriff, bring a gun up and then looked like he was going to fire it, and then there was fire exchange with the Geneseo police officer, and he ran. She's in custody, and you have so many police agencies now working together: helicopters, planes, drones, everything. The dogs are out here, canine units from all different agencies. The U.S. Marshals are here, so it's very, very interesting. And I appreciate that people are talking about these tips in Mount Morris, because again, we have to be careful. They could be anywhere in this area, and so everybody's got to be very careful. I was hoping that they would have something this morning, but we didn't. And the sheriff was right about, if you're in Geneseo, you have the most police presence you've ever seen, and that's the way I felt last night. I stayed here in Geneseo, and and obviously everything was fine for us. We didn't see anything, and but it's not just Geneseo; it's all Livingston County and the surrounding area. And again, the sheriff brought up a very interesting point that close to 390, there could be a hitchhiker. So our live viewers, thousands and thousands of people are watching this, and I know you're not all right from here, they're from all over. So if anyone maybe someone posted on Facebook, hey, I picked up a hitchhiker last night, picked up this weird guy, anything like that could be huge for the police. Because if you got to start thinking like a criminal, he's not just going to go and hide in a porta-john here, or hide in the woods or a small house. He probably on the run, trying to get as far away from this huge police presence as possible. So any tips are very appreciative. Jessica saying his girlfriend have any information on the phone. Yeah, that's I believe that they have checked everything. Did the officer get hit? Debbie, that's a great question. I think we need to address that a little more. No, there was no injuries to a police officer during the shooting last night. I want to reiterate that. Tracy's mentioning here that it missed the officer. No one was injured, fortunately, during that gunfire exchange, and that really should be the lead here. Especially as you just saw talking to the sheriff about what happened with Nick Clark recently, and then you look at what happened with Bucky Phillips, and David Sweat. I understand the sheriff said that's a little extreme, those cases, because you do have death involved, but it's the same situation to me as you're shooting at an officer, and it's just not something you do, and it could have been ugly, and now you got someone on the run, and we've seen this a lot. So did they check the railroad? Stephanie, I'm guessing yes. I mean, I can't imagine anywhere that they have not checked at this point. So Yeah, I'm looking at some of these things. Yeah, that's okay. Got you, Dale. Yeah, Dale was responding to comments. Okay. Yeah, good point there too. 15 hours, he could be anywhere. Absolutely, I agree with that. So, that's what we have. I'll show you a little bit more video of the scene. Obviously, we're up and ready and broadcasting for you guys. You can check the LCN.com. You can check our Facebook page, which we're on right now. And the LCN Twitter is cross-publishing everything as well. But again, one thing I just want to promote is Sheriff Dougherty, the Livingston County Sheriff on Twitter. He's been very good with updates. He just posted. I knew about this media briefing because he posted on his Twitter he was having a media briefing. So he's also dispelling some of the rumors that have been going on out there. So, there's another place to check for updates. But we will keep bringing you updates again. We have a team of reporters on this for the Livingston County News, updating our website and our social media accounts. So thank you. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll just video the scene, really just, kind of a closed down road. I'll show you, and media that's still here at the scene. It looks like a new group of media members from the ones I was hanging out with last night. So again, this is exactly where they had us do the press conference, right here in the middle of the road, and this is where it is shut down. And again, we'll take a quick look over here at where the why it's shut down, and you can see in the distance the police presence down here. I have no idea what that means right there. It's just, again, I've seen investigators just coming in and out of the scene.